So I have a thought for you today. I'm thinking about mental rehabilitation. I'm thinking about our journey to wholeness and to health on the inside. And I'm thinking about honesty and what that looks like. In one of the last videos, I mentioned how Dr. Mark Rutter talks about grace is being able to bring your whole self into the light and be fully accepted. And another part that he talks about is that we have to have an honest place. And I mentioned that in the video about the pack and about how we need a pack and we need people who have seen all of us and accept us. So the journey to health and wholeness on the inside is not easy, because if it was, we would all be super healthy, right? But so many of us struggle. One thing that our society has not helped us with at all is honesty. And we've been taught that you have to choose between honesty and relationship, or have to choose between honesty or kindness. That we can't be honest and kind, or I can't be honest and not sever or ruin or hurt a relationship. But honesty, being true, being congruent with what is inside, is part of our health. John Ortberg has a book called Soul Keeping. It's absolutely life transformational if you read it. And in it, it's about his journey of being mentored by Dallas Willard. And Dallas Willard talks about how our soul is actually what integrates all of who we are. So like your mind, your will, your emotions, all those things. Your soul is like the computer program behind the scenes that makes it all work together. And so it wants congruency, it wants integrity, it wants all those things to line up. So your mind, your will, your emotions, they all need to be in alignment. So when we have issues with something being out of alignment, or for example, maybe you have a desire to do something, but you suppress it, or maybe you have an idea, but you decide not to do it because of whatever. I'm not saying that we can just do and say whatever we want, but the direction or the way to health is when we can be the most congruent and the most in line, the most aligned, like your spine being aligned. The more aligned we are, the healthier we are. Honesty, it can be really hard. One of my practices is that I have a few friends who they hear everything. I tell them everything. So I'm a verbal processor. So for me, that's part of my mental health practice, is that I have these just a few that I know I can go to, who've seen it all, who've been with me through it all, who've heard it all. And I go to them and I will express my humanness. I'll express a day at work that maybe I got really frustrated, or something happened that maybe I didn't like the way I responded, or I will talk to them about my relationships. I'll talk to them about what's going on inside of me. Maybe if I'm having some issues with insecurity, or if I'm having some sort of issue with feeling alone or feeling inadequate. Like I tell them and I talk to them about it. You know, the Bible tells us that if you will confess your sins one to another, you will be healed. You could say sins, you could say your shortcomings, you could say the places where you have not aligned to nature, to your natural nature as well. You could say the areas where my humanness, my areas of humanness. If I will confess my humanness, if I will show my humanness, if I will show my weaknesses, if I will talk and speak, I will be healed. There's another passage that says, You will lay hands on the sick and they will recover. We need to touch each other. We need to love each other. We need to confess to each other, lay hands on each other, and we will be healed.